Let me get into it. So anyway, we were sitting Timmerman Theater, 1972. And someone came out and said, John Shaft is in the house. Tyrone Williams was the original. John Shaft. Please.
Shut your mouth.
So Reggie would bring that up, right? I gotta tell y'all, when this whole thing came about, I didn't come to the last one. I don't know what I was doing. I was out of town or something. And my sisters came back and said, "Oh, this was a great time. Do you remember so and so? Do you remember so and so?" I was like, "Dang, I missed something." So this one I was not gonna miss, and I'm so glad I did, because seeing everybody has just brought back so many memories. And you know what? I have asked a lot of people, what's your name again? First of all, I don't even know what I did last week. So you gotta give me some grace on that. Secondly, everybody looks so good. You guys look great. But there were a few guys that, were fairly close. Like Jose. Jose and I, Wilson, Kenny Wilson, and Frank Cummins. The Big Four. The Big Four. You can see why I'm one of the Big Four right here. Jose was very good. I was good. Kenny was really good. Couldn't mess up his hair. And Frank was just a bulldog. But the best memories I've ever had were at Pemberton. I'm so blessed to have gone to Pemberton. I'm so blessed to have the relationships that were developed from Pemberton. Now, everybody probably knows I've got 4 older brothers and 4 younger sisters. Everybody went to Pemberton. Mr. Holmes probably got sick and tired of the Williams people coming through Pemberton. But you know what? Reggie talked about it. John talked about it. Pemberton did form the basis of sort of who I am and why I do the things the way I do. It's, you know what? In my office, we have a thing called the Circle of Trust. And it might be a Joel's thing. I take him every Sunday.
There you go.
He always starts off with a joke. As a matter of fact, about, Kat, how long was it ago? About 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago? I was inducted to the Gotham Comedy Hall of Fame.
Comedy?
Yeah.
Me?
Stop. Give us a routine. Give us a routine.
I am funny.
Show us what you got, Chef. Show us what you got, Chef.
All right, I got a friend of mine. He's always asking for something, and but he's always dreaming big. And he lives in LA, and he was walking down the beach, and God called him, and he said, "Reggie." I know you're always thinking about something. I know you're always wishing on something. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it goes in and out time.
Okay. So he says, I know you're always thinking about something. I know you're always wanting something. So, and you've been good. I'm going to give you a wish. I'm going to grant you whatever you want. And so Reggie thought about it. He says, I know what I want. I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, but I'm afraid of flying. So would you build a bridge from here to Hawaii? And he thought, God said, Reggie, you know, that's a big dream. Put a lot of pressure on the taxpayers of LA, and I'm gonna give you another wish. Let's do something else. So he thought about it. He said, well, you know what? I've had some issues with my wife and relationships and just trying to understand women. So could you help me with how they think and how I should approach them and what I should do? And he said, Reggie, was that one lane or two? I got that from Mr. Olson. But anyway, in all seriousness, I am really blessed with all the siblings I grew up with, having 9 kids. Mom and dad are not here. Passed away in 2005. I talk to dad all the time. And he's with me in spirit all the time. I have my beautiful wife here, Kathleen. And she's been a blessing to me. I see my cousin Howard all the time. And Aunt Dot just celebrated her 90th birthday. 91, I'm sorry. 91. And growing up, I was over there more than I was at my house, I think. Of course, I got my sister, Pat. Everybody knows Pat. And you'll see my sister Mary tonight. And so, listen, I just want to say, I am so glad I'm here. I'm blessed to have gone to school with all of you, that we have that Cramerton in us. You know, maybe there was a little bit of, yeah, I'm from Independent. But I gotta tell you, I am not afraid at all to say, I am from Hamilton.
Yeah.
I love saying, I am from Pemberton.
Yeah.
So, want to give a big shout out to Reg, the man, for putting this all together. Also want to give a real big shout out to Alice Kane for what she has done. Wow. And really, I look forward to continuing the relationships. And I'm hoping that we can rekindle some of the relationships that I had lost along the way. Thank you.
Also, I have to give one more shout out and then I'll let this thing go. Back in the day, I told you I fractured an occasional lung. But I ended up only one time in the disciplinary office. Okay? One time. Room 30. Let me tell you the story. We're sitting in geometry class, and it's me, Wayne Lomax, and Ed Komazinski. geometry, and it's Mr. Priestley. Mr. Priestley is teaching class, doing the right thing, and Ed Komazinski, myself, and Wayne Lomax are sitting in the back of the class. And everything that Mr. Priestley says, we go, yeah. So Mr. Priestley's like trying to teach class, and we're like, yeah. Mr. Priestley gets frustrated. You remember Mr. Priestley, glasses, kind of, you know. Mr. Priestley's like, Mr. Komazinski, Mr. Moultrie, Mr. Lomax, one more time, and I'm going to send you to room 30. You know what we said? Yeah. He sent us to room 30. Well, see, room 30 was supposed to be the disciplinary office. You went to room 30, you was in deep doo-doo, okay? But when you got to room 30, you got to meet Miss Denny. You know what I'm saying? You got to meet Miss Denny. So room 30, which was supposed to be punishment, became pleasant when you got to be with Mrs. Denny. So, Mrs. Denny, God bless her, God bless her. For as much as that was supposed to be the disciplinary office, it was a place of solace. I enjoyed myself. Thank you, Mrs. Denny. And that was Mr. Holmes' office. And I'll tell you one last thing. You remember Pemberton way back in the day? My brother graduated in '71. And they were ruffians back then. Every single summer, for
Race
some
wars.
reason, or spring,
Race wars, black against
there would be
white.
racial tension, and there would be some sort of altercation.
Before we came.
And you know, and it embarrassed me because Pemberton didn't see color. How could a melting pot like Pemberton have issues every spring, black, white? And then they brought my man in, the fixer, Mr. Holmes. See what I'm saying? No, think about this now. Think about this, because if you grew up and you were there in 70, 71, 72, you remember the race riots. It was literally race riots. And then they brought that guy in, okay? And he grabbed the majority of y'all. No, seriously, by the collar, because we were rambunctious, we were ideological, we had our own way of thinking, and he took that and corralled it into positivity. He turned it into blackness. He turned it into pride. You follow me? And that meant a lot to the black kids, because now we stopped worrying about who we were going to beat up and worried about not disappointing or pissing off Mr. Holmes. so again, Mr. Holmes, I got to give it to you, bro. Honestly, it's more than just... And at this point, I'd like for Mr. Holmes to come up and say something. And he is also going to sing for us. Yes, Mr. Holmes is an accomplished singer. So, if you would please, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I've heard nothing but the religious theme, and I have to say honestly, I don't forgive any of y'all. You owe me 3 days, and I want my 3 days now. Okay, so would you either please stand or just confess? Go on and confess it out.
Howard, we know you did it.
You know, I really want to thank Reggie and all of y'all, because you hear, to watch somebody after they died, and we say such wonderful things about them, we sing and we give them flowers, and they can't hear a cotton picking thing. So, thank you. Thank you for saying these things about me. And there were a few of you who wanted to throw chairs. Let me get out of here first.